The employer of the truck driver involved in this morning's gas tanker truck explosion in Boksburg says they're investigating the incident. Innovative Staffing Solutions has sent condolences to the families affected by this tragedy, which left 9 people dead and several others critically injured. The company says the driver is highly experienced with a professional driving qualification in working at heights and 7 years of experience in transporting hazardous materials. Arnoux Maré, Innovative Staffing Solutions Managing Director, joins us now for a little bit more. A very good evening to you, Arnoux. And look, this is not really the kind of circumstances we would want to be calling you. If anything, we'd want to find out how your employees are doing heading into Christmas, heading into the new year. How excited are they about the festive period? So we can only imagine that it has now become a very strenuous period for you. And I'm sure it's something that you guys are working very hard to deal with. But let's start here. How is the driver, as per the last update we got, that he is still alive?
We have exactly the same amount of information that you have at the moment. We haven't been able to speak to him. He's still busy with medical examiners. As soon as we do know, however, we will send an update as soon as we can. We are at this moment, just trying to investigate and seeing what has actually been the cause of this. It's very difficult in this situation, as I'm sure everybody will know that, as soon as there's fatalities, an accident is one thing, but a fatal accident is absolutely terrible to work with. So we are trying our best just to actually see what actually happened and what led to the circumstances around it.
It hasn't even been 24 hours since this has happened, so I can probably imagine just how far the investigations may be. It hasn't maybe uncovered what it should be at this point, but there are families that need to know what happened. There are South Africans that need to know what happened. What can you tell them at this point?
What we've ascertained at this moment, as you previously stated, we immediately started by investigating the employee, ensuring that the employee was well qualified. That was not one of our main concerns because we know that the employees that we place on trucks, especially trucks that convey dangerous goods, are qualified and do have the necessary qualifications. But we did go and ensure about this. He's an experienced driver. As to how he took that route and how he ended up in the position where he is, that is something that we will only be able to get the information from him. We do know that all of our drivers use electronic GPSs to give them routes, whether he was rerouted or whatever happened in that situation is something we can't comment on now. We are trying to get to the bottom of it, but due to the damage of the explosion, it is impossible at this stage to say what has happened. We are busy drawing all the tracker reports, all the phone reports and so on that we can. Those will obviously be handed over to the authorities that has been doing an excellent job with the scene, as bad as it might be. So we have been working endlessly since this morning to try and find out what actually is happening, what actually happened for this to transpire. We do have a timeline that we have found that begs for even more questions, unfortunately. We know that the truck got stuck underneath the bridge at around about 6:15 this morning. The truck only ignited into flames about 30 to 35 minutes later, and 15 minutes after that, the actual explosion actually happened. So how that happened, we will have to ascertain, and I'm sure that the fire department will also be investigating that very seriously. We will also be sending out our specialist team as soon as we can. We were there this morning, and due to safety regulations, the authorities asked us to withdraw, and our specialist team actually could not continue with those investigations. As soon as we are able to speak to the employee, we will be asking his side. I think it's important that he's also able to state what actually happened in his own words, and will then definitely be taking this matter forward.
45 minutes, I think, is what you said, before there was an ignition of any kind of flame, and 15 minutes later the explosion happened. So that is essentially give or take about an hour after. Yes?
Yeah, approximate times. We're working on approximate times.
Approximate times. Okay. So In that approximate time, did he at any point, with the 7 years experience he has and all the qualifications he has, a man that has been doing this for a number of years now, did at any point maybe not, think, or I wouldn't want you to comment on his thought process at the time, because there's a lot of emotions and probably fears that you're going through, but did he not at any point alert the employers that this is what has just happened, and given that he understands that he's transporting hazardous gases or hazardous material, that something might happen? So did he not alert anybody that this is what has just happened?
He actually did. He did immediately call the controllers that are monitoring the truck. Our experts, investigative team rushed to the scene. They unfortunately got there as the explosion happened, but the driver did immediately inform the controllers that there was a leak of gas at that stage. The authorities, as far as I know, was also informed at that stage. So, yes, the driver, as far as we can see, and again, I can't comment on his state of mind. I can't comment on what action he did first and what he did last. But at the moment, the facts as we have them is that he actually did contact, as the chain of command and the safety procedures allows him to do. He did contact the controller station to say that there has been an incident and we do have a leakage of gas, yes.
Is this a familiar route that he took? I mean, I know you did mention a little earlier on that he may have been rerouted, because he does follow, all drivers follow a particular GPS route that ensures that they use safe routes and that, the particular deliveries happen as they should without any hindrance. But is this a familiar route? Is this a route that you can say that has been used before?
Unfortunately not. That's part of our investigation. So his load was, as was stated earlier, was on its way north to Botswana. So usually you should stick to only the main routes. But that's why I say, if we don't know what the GPS calculation did, we know that we use smart GPS calculations that try and take traffic and road accidents and so forth into timing of loads as well. So we don't know whether it's pure speculation to say maybe he was rerouted. And that's something that I wish I could comment at this stage, because I myself want answers as much as everybody else. We can honestly say that if it turns out that the driver was at fault, we will definitely act severely towards him and assist the authorities in any way. If it was a miscalculation or something that unexplicitly went wrong, we will have to investigate that, but we will definitely not stop. Our main concern here is the community, the people that passed away and their families, our condolences to them. The people that were injured, I think that is the more important part at this stage, and to get answers to these people is definitely a top priority to us.
This is, in a case like this, those who are affected, be it the victims themselves, the survivors at least, and their families, they always need someone to blame, someone to take accountability, and someone to pay. What is ISS in this particular position willing to do? I mean, this is obviously something that you're going to be encouraged by following the investigation. You will know what actions to take afterwards, I would imagine. But what is it once you now get to the bottom of everything, and now there is a matter of reparations, you need to fix the situation, at least where victims are concerned. What is ISS at least committing to doing?
Look, ISS has always had the stance that will help any person. We've never had an accident like this in our over 12 years of existence. So this is a first for us. And like you rightly say, we will need to look at where the investigation goes. But ISS will always be a responsible corporate entity and ensure that where help is needed, we will help. We can't at this moment go to the extent of that, because we need to first of all see what happened, what actually happened in that, let's call it approximately an hour, as you stated, that actually caused this explosion. So there's a lot of investigation, a lot of unanswered questions, and I wish I could give more answers at this stage. But we are all in the blind at the moment, and until we get more information, we literally. It takes a lot for me to say that I am speechless, but this has left me speechless, and It's a very emotional time.
Yeah.
People want answers. One of those people at the end of the day. We've always prided ourselves in creating safer road environments, lessening accidents, ensuring fatigue management so that drivers don't make mistakes. So we will be on this investigation. This investigation will be the top priority of ISS. ISS has totally reopened its full offices to give its full support in any way it can, and to ensure that the investigation is dealt with as swiftly and accurately as possible.
We can most definitely hope that it'll be speedy, the investigation, that the resolution of this matter will come in no time, and that, of course, you can expect us as the media will definitely be following it as closely as we possibly can, because answers, at least to families and victims, do need to be given. But we'll leave it there with you. Arnoux Maré, thank you so much. He is, of course, the Innovative Staffing Solutions Managing Director, speaking about, as you see there in our tag, the Boksburg blast that happened today, claiming the lives, unfortunately, of 9 people. And that is at least as far as we have the information, a number of people in critical condition. So we'll definitely be bringing you updates. As South Africans, we know that you are interested in the story, so we'll be bringing you updates as and when they do come.